Hello, folks, and welcome to Love to Fly 2024. We've got a beautiful flight for you today in the new Piper PA-28-236 Dakota that Microsoft has so graciously given us as a gift. It's a 235 horsepower Piper. It has constant speed propeller. Has fixed landing gear. It does come with just the wheels and no pants, or in this case, I put the wheel pants on. So that's a good thing. It's a 235 horsepower engine. It's a IO 540 six-cylinder Lycoming in there. We're going to fly. We're in California right now at a little private strip, but we're going to go ahead and fly up to Kern Valley Airport. That's L05. And we're going to land at runway 17 up there, which is favoring the winds today. It's up at an elevation of 2,600 feet next to a beautiful Lake Isabella and the river that runs through there. So, hope you enjoy this flight with us. The new plane is very pretty, and to be honest, I'm quite happy with the way it handles. It feels like a Piper Cherokee, Dakota, that lineage there. It feels about right. I'm certainly no expert, but um, you always expect the climb rate and the takeoff speed and stall speeds to be correct, but sometimes the feel just isn't correct, if you know what I mean. But this one feels very correct and seems very detailed. It is not the greatest I've ever seen, but it's very nice. I don't think anyone would complain about it, especially since it was included for free. You have to pardon my yokes there wiggling. Whenever I turn left or right, I get a little wiggle in my yokes. I'm glad you could join me on this flight, though. It's going to be a beautiful flight in between mountains through some valleys. Again, it's not really a high altitude airport destination, but it helps to have a nice 235 horsepower engine in there, which of course makes this a high performance plane as well. She's beautiful. Underneath, she looks dirty. Maybe it's from that dirt field I just took off from, huh? The hills here are gorgeous. I I've said before in my videos, I love where the desert meets the forest and you get trees, but you still have some desert landscape. Very pretty. And that's kind of what you get up in Kern as well, as I understand it. I've never been to Kern myself, but as I understand, it gets a little cold in the winter, not bad. Definitely hot in the summer, getting up near 100 in the peak of summer. But it's a beautiful, beautiful valley with a river and Lake Isabella, which is just gorgeous. I love these sparsely covered hills like this with some trees and some brown grasses. It just gives you that, I don't know, the same kind of vibe like I get in Sedona. This plane looks so beautiful, doesn't it? They really did a good job. Of course, a lot of planes now are just awing me because the rivets, the paint reflection, the shine on it, everything is far more realistic than it used to be. Again, I've been flying flight sim since the early days on a monochrome monitor, um, back before Microsoft even bought flight sim, and then I flew through the more graphically pretty versions, but they were just so problematic as far as you really had to have more of a cutting edge computer to do it. Now, I think we've gotten to the point where my computer is nowhere near cutting edge and it does it fine. And if you see notchiness in this video, it's because of the recording portion of it, but it flies beautifully and fine. And yes, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 has its problems, and Many people will tell you they do not like it. They still fly 2020, or that they don't like it at all and they fly X-plane. And that's perfectly okay, and I can understand that. But for my purposes, it flies good. It does what I need it to. Is it perfect? No, far from it. But I like it. And I'm really enjoying these planes that we're getting, whether they're from third-party companies or like this one being released for Microsoft. Although we know that third-party companies help make these most of the time, but Microsoft is releasing them for us for free. They've just gotten so much better with airplanes and with the way they handle and the way they stall. This one, I haven't stalled it, and I probably won't today, but I think the handling feels really like the Cherokees I've flown in the past. I have not flown a Dakota, but as I understand it, the handling is very similar feeling. It's got that same Piper, Cherokee, Dakota, Archer sort of feel to it, and it does feel that way. So pretty though, look at that. I love how the non-slip section on the wing is a little bit dusty looking, like somebody with shoes that had dust on them or dirt on them climbed up on it. In the old days, we wouldn't have thought of doing that, you know? It's really, really beautiful. And of course, the reflections off of the glass, or plexiglass, or Lexan, depending, really look good. I would say one thing that still is not perfect, somebody needs to work on in all planes, not insulting any particular designer or third-party company, but is chrome spinners just don't look like chrome spinners really look. They haven't gotten that down pat yet. They try, but they haven't gotten it quite yet. This one does come in several liveries, or liveries, depending on your pronunciation of it. But I like the green and white like this. I think everybody's starting to see my trend of liking green and white airplanes. Not sure why that is either, but it just is what looks best to me. Not really flying through a cloud here, but a little layer of mist from a cloud. These clouds are extremely light. There's Lake Isabella and the dam right down below us. And just about dead ahead of the airplane is the airport. I'll try and show it to you closer up before I land at it. I haven't tested absolutely everything in this airplane, but as far as I've seen, everything that I need works fine. Again, can't really complain at the look of that. Interior, try and give you a little bit of a view here of what it looks like. There's our controls, throttle, prop, mixture, 6-pack. Everything looks very good, and I do like, in the old days they used to try and make it always look brand new, fresh, and it's not very realistic. There's the airport right there to the right slightly, just off the nose. I'll get you a better view as we get closer here. Be flying a right pattern to land. There is no left-hand landing pattern for this runway, runway 17. because there's mountains right there. And there's mountains as well off to this side when you do the right pattern, but you'll fly over the top of them. If you fly at pattern altitude, you'll be just over the top of them. I'll come in probably a little high. This is flight sim after all, and I don't have to truly follow a proper pattern if I don't want to. That lake looks beautiful down there. Look at that sun glaring off the lake. Try and get it in a good spot for you guys. There we go. That's so pretty. Can't get over how much better the planes look than they did just 5-6 years ago. And I love that more and more planes are being put out with the actual audio files from the engine, because it wasn't that long ago that all planes kind of sounded the same no matter what. It was just a generic generated file of some sort. It was not nearly as good as they are now. Again, not saying that there aren't flaws still. This is certainly far from perfect, but it's enjoyable and it's not messed up so bad that you can't really enjoy a flight. There's nothing to take you out of the flight very much, especially when you fly like I do with no designators popping up above things, no nameplates anywhere. It's just like flying in real life, except a lot less expensive. Let's get coming into this airport. It's a little tricky to land at this airport, but not bad by any means. But it's definitely a little valley airport and requires a little maneuvering. Thankfully, the Piper Dakota, much like the Cherokees, Archers, and all that, are very good in kind of tight spaces. They handle well. They don't tend to stall abruptly. You can fly them well above stall speed and feel very comfortable still making a fairly tight turn. They handle well, and they handle very predictably. Those flaps really help a lot too. They do drop down quite a bit. They slow you down a lot. A beautiful runway, about I believe it's about 3,500 foot runway. Plenty long for most GA aircraft to land. I'm carrying a little extra speed, so I'm floating a bit. I'll end up using most of this runway because of that, but that's okay. Plenty of time to slow down and stop. No wind at all. But that sky is pretty. I can just get lost in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I remember the days too when every runway was perfectly gray and didn't have any repair work shown on it in the flight sim. It looked pristine, which didn't look right. Now that they have some repair work showing and some marks from the wheels during landings and stuff, it really adds to the realism. We've got a nice big turnaround place here at the end. You could turn around almost any airplane. If you could land it here, you could probably turn it around without much problem. There's only about 3 exits or so from this runway, and they're all closer to midway, or even the one I'm about to take is probably closer to the other end. So I'm kind of zipping along here faster than I'd like to, but I don't want to stay on the runway too long. Just a habit to try and get off the runway as quick as possible, right? at you. Looks like a beautiful day. There's a river right there. I wish I had a fishing pole and could go fishing. The river's just a short walk from the parking, if you park at the campground here, which is where I'm parking right now. Notice those taxiway signs had no real markings on them, but I'm not sure what markings they would put on them for this. Basically, this is just campground parking right here. I'll just pull it around and try and stop somewhere a little bit out of the way. Not too bad out of the way. I'll only be here for a few minutes just for filming a video, and after all, it is flight simulator. I hope you enjoyed this flight in the newly released Dakota. At the time of this filming, it was newly released. Let's get that engine shut down, and I'd like to thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this flight with me. Have a great day.